Then you want to look at there's the planets in good signs and bad signs. So you have your dignity, which is the signs that the planet rules, and then the detriment would be the opposite. And then you have exaltation and fall. The best sign for a planet would be the exaltation, and the worst would be the fall. And this goes back to 786 BC and
the Hypsamata.
Which is the New Year's chart that the Babylonians they celebrated. And in that year, 786 BC, all the planets were in their degrees of exaltation. And then if you take those degrees and look at modern day people, it's you can see how you can see the exaltation and the fall, and there are certain degrees that were attributed to a degree of exaltation. So like 19 degrees of Aries would be the sun's exaltation, and 3 degrees of Taurus would be the moon's, and 15 degrees of Cancer would be Jupiter's, and then Mars would be 27 Capricorn, and Venus is 28 of Pisces. And I found in my research, using these degrees and whatnot, they show up in these historical charts. like the first Academy Awards.
It says a Neptune exalted.
It showed Venus in its degree of exaltation.
I guess there was no Neptune in the Hypsamata, was there? Because they didn't know it was there yet.
Well,
you can extrapolate it though.
Yeah, astronomically extrapolate it, because you have your dates. And you're able to go back in time. Most software programs will do that. It's kind of interesting to time travel in that fashion.
Yeah. It's a time machine.
Why can't we find Christ's chart?
Because he didn't exist.
Yeah.
So, another question I would have for you would be, well, Sidereal is star, and that's,
That's
star.
Oh yeah, Alpha
stars. So the vicinity or aspects to the fixed stars are also important, and something that people don't really think about too much.
Yes, that's true.
Would you explain on that kind of,
well,
the
using
mythology?
the Fagan Allen or Fagan Bradley SVP, Zodiac, Sidereal Zodiac, lines up, putting the stars in their proper signs, so that you have Aries stars in the constellation areas, and Taurus, Gemini, along the ecliptic. These are ecliptical values.
The astronomical location.
Yeah, right. And so I think that's very important when you're dealing with symbolism. I've done some sports astrology and symbolism out of this world. I mean,
like
you have the Chicago Bulls inaugural chart, very first pro game, and using a Western or tropical zodiac, they have Gemini rising. But if you revert it to Sidereal, they have Taurus rising. They are the Chicago Bulls.
Not the Minnesota Twins, after all.
Yeah. That's another chart.
Is it?
So there's like there's a niche to all the symbolisms
Yeah.
that are evident.
So there's a couple of fixed star degrees that you'd probably want to memorize and put into your sort of repertoire as an
Yeah.
astrologer and getting the most out as you can out of a horoscope.
Yeah, so if you have your sidereal chart, 29 degrees, Virgo is Spica, and the alpha star of Virgo, and 5 degrees of Leo is Regulus, which is known as the Little King, and 15 degrees Taurus, and 15 degrees of Scorpio. We have Aldebaran, the alpha star of Taurus, exactly opposite, at the opposite end you have Antares, the alpha star of
Scorpion
Scorpio.
still.
Yeah. Of Scorpio. It's the heart of the Scorpion.
The heart of the Scorpion. Okay.
And
That's one of the fallen kings.
well,
Star-
actually, these back in their time, when the seasons, some 3,000 years ago, they were called the Watchers. So, Watcher of the West would have been Antares, and so people born around that time were regarded as royalty because the equinox or the equinox point would be there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Taurus, that would be Watcher of the East. And that marked the spring. And see how far it's gone from Sidereal Taurus, which would be June, June 1 or so, or May 31st. And now we celebrate spring in March 20th. No real notable stars at this point.
No.
But back in their time,
It's-
back in the day, they were regarded
So
as
do you
royal
know?
stars.
Do you know which? Well, there's also Regulus. Did you remember that? Mention that one?
Yeah, Regulus is Watcher of the North,
Mm-hmm.
and Fomalhaut, Southern Fish, so
In
Watcher of the
Aquarius.
South.
Is that a Grand Cross right there, or?
Yeah, these were at one time they marked seasons. I calculated dates for them.
So it's the big.
They're separated by within 1,000 years of each other. It's be interesting to see what transpired back in that time.
Yeah.
And as for the Hypsomata, to be around during that period of time.
And what age was that? What eon
Okay, it
or astrological age?
preceded the Aryan Age, would be the Taurian Age. I think I call it the Bronze Age.
Speaking of ages, I know we're starting to get we have like a Piscean hangover right now, and we're kind of waking up and becoming like the Aquarian age. But that's not for another couple hundred years.
Yeah, I think
To be
it's
precise.
2300, something like that. That's when the Aquarian Age officially begins. That means that equinox point will have crossed from Pisces into Aquarius.
Yeah, that'll be quite a party.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Jack.
Okay, we'll
For
do
now.
this. Yes.
We'll be back.
It needs a lot of editing, but it'll.
Nope, none.